Welcome back to a classical fairy tale where the girl can leave every time she wants but actually doesn't. Also known as Everlasting Summer. So, let's see what happens with these two here. But is it being that everything is depending on him, a good or a bad thing? And what should I do next? There were more questions than answers. When it's hard enough to make a decision about my own life and take responsibility for my own actions, how could I do that for both of us? Before now, I'd keep myself distant from such problems in the hope of everything resolving on its own, without my input. But I couldn't act this way now. And not even because of the fact that heaven only knows where and in what time I was. No, I could be wrong. Slavia looked at me inquiringly. We won't achieve anything, indeed, by just sitting here. And not just that. It's stupid and childish. You were right. And what should we do then? Let's go. We got up. I took the sleeping bag and headed to the camp, holding Slavia by the hand. Soon we came to the square where Olga was standing as if she was waiting for us. "Long time no see," she said angrily. "Do you have something to say to excuse yourself?" Oh, so this is the ultimate decision. I or we. Well, it is kind of obvious, at least this is an obvious decision. And since I want the good end with Slavia here, yeah, I mean, why should we go for the bad end now? We have no reason to justify ourselves. I replied obnoxiously. Oh, really? Okay then, so you think all of this is normal? Fine. She paused for a few moments and turned to Slavia. Go to your cabin. I understand that you're not the one to blame. Slavia didn't move an inch. She just lowered her eyes and held my hand even more tightly. Slavia! As you can see, she doesn't want to. What did you say to seduce her? Oh my god, I said nothing. I started losing my cool. Why do you think we've done something wrong? We haven't done anything, at all. As if I haven't seen it. She grinned. So what have you seen? She paused, but continued a second later in the same tone. I've seen enough. Wow, you are so good at drawing conclusions. Getting a job in the secret police? Oh. Stop it with your rudeness. I didn't even think of starting it, I said sarcastically. Okay, your time is up, and I'm not willing to continue this pointless argument. You are grounded till the end of the session. Oh, really? And how are you going to manage that? I'll lock you down in the cabin. And what if I object? Olga gave me a surprised look. It was just not that now that I realized the crowd was gathering around us. I could spot Lena, Alisa and Uljana in the crowd. What do you mean by object? Said the camp leader slowly. I mean exactly what I said. But you can't. The true pioneer. Well, that means I'm a false one. Olga paused as if she was pulling herself together. You think I can't force you? And how would you do that? I laughed emphatically. Ignoring the various mystical forces that I was least concerned about right now, the camp leader indeed had absolutely no idea about enforcing anything. You know what? What? It looked like Olga already understood that she had lost, but still couldn't admit her defeat because of her pride and her position of eldest and wisest in the whole camp. I know what the Komsomol is. Komsomol was a youth division of Communist Party. Young people who failed to join it generally were treated at outcast in a society. Oh, that I didn't know. That sucks. I'll send a report to your school. You won't be accepted to the Komsomol. You won't be able to join the party. Wait, I guess we are Komsomol. If we are the Lenin youth, then we are 15 or something. Oh well, I guess, I don't ask questions. I had no way to respond against such serious threats. Accept it, you have no choice anyway. Slavia, who had kept silent until now, intervened in the matter. Olga, why do you assume you're right from the start? Why is Semyon always to blame for everything? What's so special about what has happened? What has he? What have we done wrong? Are you even sure of what you are blaming us for? And if it was anyone other than me standing here, would you act the same way? Slavia, you should know that. That is the point. I know everything. I know you. I know that Semyon hasn't done anything wrong. I know you are prejudiced against him. Without any clear reason, by the way. Even though he is trying his best. Yes, it looks awkward at times, but I know he puts all his energy and his heart into it. And you're going to blame him just because he is the way he is? I was charmed by Slavia's monologue, listening to it without really getting whether she was praising me, declaring facts, or stating her opinion, which is probably prejudiced. I guess her exact words flew over me. Just the melody of her voice was enough for me. It hypnotized and carried me away from this sick woman and stupid pioneer camp, while calming and healing the wounds in my soul. Okay, I don't know what to do with you anymore. Olga calmed down a bit. But don't think that I approve of your behavior. Wow, that worked out better than expected. Whoops, sorry. She turned away, sliced through the crowd and headed to her cabin. I expected a storm of applause like in American movies, but crowds started to dissolve quickly as the show came to its end. And Uljana just winked at me slyly. Well, you know, we kind of overdid it. I looked at Slavia. She was smiling. Yeah, but it's never wrong. It's never wrong to stand up for your rights. It's never wrong. You know, I mean, camaraderie is all good and stuff. But when you're right, and then you have to stand up for your right. You know what I mean? I guess you know. No, not at all. I'd be arguing with her until late at night, and you nailed it right and clear. I wouldn't get the right words like that, even if I had an entire week to think. Oh, come on. What? That is the simple truth, not a trace of lies or flattery. She gazed into my eyes and burst out laughing. I just said first thing that came to mind, and this is how it turned out. Your first thought is the right one. That's how the saying goes. I guess it is. I just noticed now that we were still holding each other by hand. After feeling a bit awkward, I tried to pull my hand free, but Slavia didn't let me. This gave me the chills for a second. Where will we go? I had no desire to go back to my cabin. Strictly speaking, I didn't want to stay in the camp at all. What would you say if I suggested we return to the forest? Slavia looked at me with surprise. Well, you know, it's just sometimes... Okay, let's go. I wasn't expecting such a quick response and had no idea how to finish my sentence. Was just going to tell her about a feeling I get sometimes, when you want to go somewhere outside of your comfort zone. At least for a while, at least for a couple of hours. I used to do this before quite often, visiting foreign districts or even neighboring cities. New places and sceneries calm my heart and help to realize that the world is not limited by my apartment walls, or the daily route to university or the workplace. And thus there are people who are doing better or worse than me. And so my typical problems are not as bad as they appear to be. I suddenly smiled. What? Nothing, I just remembered. Never mind, let's go. We headed to the forest, still holding hands. Eventually we came to a glade, probably the one where we sat an hour ago. Or it could be a different one, as I couldn't distinguish one from another. Here? Slavia gave me a questioning look. No. Let's go further. Okay. After another half an hour of wandering through the forest, we came to a small lake. What a nice place. You're right. Is this the lake he peeped Slavia in the beginning? Maybe, I don't know. Then I suggest we stop here. Nice place. I put the sleeping bag on the ground and sat on it. Slavia did the same. And what are we going to do? I don't know. It was your idea to go into the forest. Yes, mine. I had to make a decision once again. Well, I had absolutely no idea what could we do. We could talk, for example. But about what? Oh, come on, don't get so anxious. Slavia laughed. Yeah, really, you're stressing yourself too much. Be more natural, Semyon. I mean, I know that it's not easy, especially with a lady you are interested in around you. I understand that. But you're overdoing it a bit. I can see you are. Well, it's just because it's fine. As you say. I sighed and stared at the ground. Maybe you can tell me about yourself. Well, There's nothing really to talk about. It's impossible that there could be nothing of interest in a person's life at all. How so? I'm an example of that. You just... She hesitated. Could it be that you're not telling me something? Like what? I don't know. Like you're hiding something from me. But why would I? How would I know? You'd know better. Well, I don't. You said it like... How? Not right. Slavia laughed again. I'm sure that anyone but her would not be so calm here. Okay, so what do you want me to talk about? Well, tell me about yourself. Anything interesting that happened in your life. Right now, I was definitely sure that there was nothing interesting in my life at all. Okay, let me think. I made a smart face. When I was a kid, like 5 or 6 years old, I guess, there was a small hut near my family's country house. A solid one, made from wooden boards, with tar paper roof, so it could be used as a bomb shelter in case of war. So one day I was sitting on top of it with somebody and suddenly fell off. And there were beds of strawberries behind it. And during those split seconds that I was falling, I thought, that is it. The Grim Reaper had come for me, and my entire life ran through my head. A life just 6 years long, but still. I don't know if that really happens for a 6-year-old, but still. So I fell onto those beds and obviously didn't feel anything, as there was plenty of soft ground there. So, that is the story. Slavia laughed. But that is so silly. I didn't think so at the time. And what about now? I don't know. I guess it is. Fine. Tell me something else. You'll call that silly too. No, I won't. I started thinking again. Also, I once fell... I heard stories just about falling. Also, I once fell into a pond from a bridge and almost drowned. Your stories are all... Slavia said in an annoyed tone. I told you there isn't much to talk about, so I told you the first story that came to my mind. Ah, speaking of which, the lake. Slavia looked at the water. Let's go swimming. I am not really fond of that. I don't even have anything to swim in. Oh, come on. She gave me a captivating smile. Yes, of course, it would turn out this way. Well, I don't know, really. Of course, I was eager to agree, but I still hesitated. Oh, come on. Slavia laughed and ran off the lake, unbuttoning her shirt on the way. Well, I stood up from the sleeping bag and slowly headed away. May I dare to say that her breast size shrunk very much since the last time he saw her nude? I'm just saying. When I came closer, Slavia was already splashing in the lake, with all her clothes left lying around. Come here! Well, I'm not sure if I want to, I've mumbled slowly. Come on, it's fun in here. She didn't seem to feel awkward about my presence at all. Well, I wanted to turn away at first. But here's the question, what is more appropriate here? If Slavia thinks it's okay and I act awkwardly, won't it offend her? That isn't the most important thing now. I didn't bring my swimming trunks. I guess that wasn't the most suitable excuse at the moment. So, neither did I, Slavia said with a voice a level quieter. Don't be afraid. I'm not. There's nothing to be afraid of. I'm a manly man. So get in. I didn't know what to say. At this point, you've gone too far to not go in, man. I probably wanted to comply, but with everything happening some other way. Not in such a spontaneous and random manner. And really, why is Slavia so friendly to me? Is there something more to it than that? Yeah, at this... Really? At this point, this isn't even a legit question anymore. Then I really don't get it. It's up to you, she said disappointedly. Light the fire then. What for? Because when I'll get out, I'll need a way to dry myself. Oh yes, sir. Fine. So I don't even get to decide. He just does what he wants. Okay. I quickly went back to the sleeping bag, picking up branches on my way. Collecting firewood wasn't a problem at all, but how do I light the fire? I had neither a matchbox nor a lighter. Like every educated person, I knew that it's possible to do it by rubbing one stick against the other, but I've never done this before. Well, I had no other ideas. I started to drill one stick into another one, slowly. I was lucky that sticks were dry enough, because otherwise I'd have no chance at all. Actually, I was quite skeptical about my chances, but after just about a minute, some smoke appeared and a faint fire flared up, dying out a moment later. At least it was clear that I could handle this way of starting a fire. It took me another 20 minutes of suffering here, probably if you do that the first time, but in the end I had a small fire burning next to the sleeping bag. I was throwing more sticks into it lazily. This is how it turns out. Man can adapt to anything, and so I could probably even survive in a snowy forest. My survivalist thoughts were interrupted by Slavia, who suddenly appeared right above me. Wow, you're good. I lifted my gaze and quickly turned away. Yes, of course. She was wearing a shirt, but thanks to its dampness, it wasn't hiding much. It wasn't a problem in the lake, but it's quite different when she is so close. One wouldn't get lost with you. She's wearing her normal uniform. What are you talking about? Slavia sat with her back against mine. I hope it will dry off quickly. Somehow I was hoping so too. So, what? What? I asked with a muddled voice. Tell me something else. I don't know really. I felt like something was stuck in my throat. Storytelling was definitely out of question. You've gotten so stiff suddenly. Really? Why would I? It's nothing, just... I had a feeling you start getting really on my nerves, Simeon. Stop being a bitch. You've gone way too far for being a bitch now. Like, for real. That would have been... Like, for real, that would have been more appropriate after the whole... or before the whole drama. Now it's kinda lame, to be honest. Well, I had a feeling that I won't be able to just sit like that any longer. Animal instincts were clouding my mind. Think this is normal? What? Sitting like this? What's wrong with it? Seems like Slavia really didn't understand. Well, you are. Do you really not get it? There's nothing to get! There is nothing anymore to get. God damn it. I mean, I'm the opposite of a Casanova. But Semyon is like even worse. I sighed helplessly. Well, I'm not really sure. Her voice sounded cunning. What do you think? Well, I'd... Maybe we shouldn't hold back. Her words flashed through my head. She's giving her consent. What the fuck? Ah, I see. What the fuck? Holy shit. Well, at least I don't need to read anything. Okay. Something wonderful. Whoa. This went from... First Simeon was pitching, and then that went from a total 0 to a 200 miles per hour. Something wonderful happened between us. Something that I couldn't even dream of 6 days ago. Maybe here it is, the reason for me being in this camp. That was amazing. Yeah. That was... Man, it's so sad, but that was so silly. I can't take it really seriously. That was just silly, kinda. That was just kinda silly. Man, too bad. I'm not too fond of this so far. The whole drama thing, the whole drama aspect, you know. And then we stand up and we rebel against the evil forces. What has this to do with Slavia? That would have been what I would have expected. Okay, maybe the game wants to teach me that people have different layers, you know? People are not all the same. No, what I want to say is that people are deep. Slavia seems from the outside obedient, and she does everything she needs to be, and she plays by the rules. But now we learned that there is a fighter in her, or something like that. But still, it seemed kind of out of place. It seemed a bit out of place. Just not as much, but a bit like the horror scene. You know? Let's see. I'm not the biggest fan of that as of now. Maybe I'm just overly critical. But the problem is, the reason why I'm so overly critical is because I enjoyed this game very much. Except for the horror scene. And there were one or two different problems I had with the game, but these were all minor things. And now that the Slavia end isn't going as I kind of expected, is now a bit disappointing. I mean, the Semyon ending. The Semyon ending was so psycho and kind of deep, and this is like what's happening right now is High School Musical. Know what I mean? And the other Slavia scenes, they weren't so dull. And I kind of like the lesson Semyon learned that he has to stand up for himself. But the way it's all strange. It doesn't kind of fit. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just not my cup of tea, and yeah, I'm just going to go on. For a while, we just lay close to each other. It's getting chilly. Hang on. I unfolded the sleeping bag, and we got inside together. Slavia rested her head on my shoulder. Mind if I take a quick nap? I just feel so tired. Sure, go ahead. Soon her breathing became deep and steady. The wind quietly rustled the leaves on the trees around us. The grass was swaying next to us, and tiny bugs buzzed annoyingly overhead. Suddenly I realized this was the best place I have ever seen in my life. Thinking that, I fell asleep. Next day? No, evening. Okay, makes more sense. I opened my eyes and saw the top of an oak roaring above. A strong wind has risen, chilling me to the bone. The full moon was staring right at me. Night has fallen. I couldn't really tell what time it was, but it didn't matter much. Slavia was still asleep. I tucked the sleeping bag around her cozily, got dressed, and headed to the lake. I was really thirsty, and there weren't any other options available. Besides, I don't think the water here is poisonous. We're not around Chernobyl or anything. Also, this is definitely in your head, since Genda is an anime person. At least I want to believe that. I scooped up some water and eagerly dipped my face into my hands. The water tastes so good that it felt like it came from a spring, not a lake. My reflection stared at me, blurred in the water, and touched by the moonlight. It seemed to be smiling. Weird, I didn't even notice. Overjoyed, I headed back, fully intending to sleep till morning. And a twig snapped nearby. No! Come on! I turned to see what made the noise and saw someone behind a tree. Who's there? I called out, worried. There's no need to scream like that. The voice seemed familiar. Oh, it's Lena. Thank God. I didn't read the second Semyon. I really didn't need him right now. I came closer and saw Lena. What are you doing here? Taking a walk? At this time? What? I can't? No, it's just strange. Said the one sleeping with a girl in a bag in the forest, but okay. I leaned against a tree and pondered. She's definitely here for a reason. Besides, we barely made it here. You can't reach this lake on a walk. And even at night, Slavia, sleeping a dozen steps away, was in clear view. And... What? Were you going to say anything? Am I supposed to? Up to you. I don't get what you're saying. Okay. Been here for a while? Well, not that long. How long is that? Not long, Lena snapped. Alright. Is that all? I don't know. What's happening now? I don't need more teeny drama. Don't want this to become a triangle. Also, we just have one day to go. You should probably get back. Slavia will get cold. So, you saw. It was hard not to see. That is probably true. If you think that. Well, what am I supposed to think, huh? Seems as clear as day. I guess. So you're not going to say anything. What is there to say? After your show at the square today, words don't seem to be needed. There was no show. It's like I'm justifying myself to her. It's none of your business anyway. Exactly. It's your business. Just be careful. Watch out. What are you talking about? If everything comes to you so easily, you probably won't value it much. Though you should. I don't get it. Well, like Slavia. Bam! This time it's magical. And then you do it another time. And another. And then you get tired of it. Maybe. Lena paused. What are you talking about? What is she talking? Is she talking about the sex, or is she talking about how we get together? I don't know. That's what I'm saying. You need to cherish what you have, even if you don't put much effort into getting it. If you think I'm treating this like a game, you are totally wrong. Well, I do kinda, to be honest. Maybe because it is a game. I don't think that, but it's possible. Besides, how about staying out of things that are none of your business? Why are you so fucking rude? I'm just giving you advice. I don't remember asking for it. I think you should pay more attention to what you're doing and planning to do, so you don't feel any torturing regrets later on. Look, this is starting to sound like a threat. Huh? It really is. Well, maybe so, Lena said mysteriously. So you... No, not at all. But now, to be precise, she added in a whisper. What? The fuck did I just miss? Okay, let's just go on. Lena turned and headed into the depths of the forest. I didn't stop her. So she knows this world is fake or something? Is she the postman of the gods who brought me here? Oh, what is going on? When she was almost gone from sight, I noticed something in her hand blinking in the moonlight. What a strange girl. I sighed and returned to Slavia. By the way, at this point I have a kind of a suspicion what's going on. And in general, about the whole situation. But, nah, I'll keep it for me, for the moment. The warmth of the body kept me from the cold of the night. I hope I was keeping Slavia warm as well. Well, if you're warm, she's warm as well. That's how that works. So, do we make a new video for day 7? No. I don't think so. No, we don't make a new video for... Wow. Simeon's schlong looks kinda strange. No, we do this in one sitting. I woke up with the first rays of the sun because of the cold. Obviously, the sleeping bag was warm and it hadn't had enough time to be covered with hoarfrost, but still it was a novelty for me to spend the night in a forest. Carefully, in order to avoid waking Slavia up, I got out of the bag. The fresh morning air finally dispelled my drowsiness, and the serenity of last night swept over me. I guess it was the happiest moment of my life. Intimacy, tenderness, love, passion, all those emotions interlinked in me during these hours. I looked at Slavia and she was beautiful. Her face was set in a motionless expression of absolutely tranquility and peacefulness. I guess that is how angels sleep. As I had no wish to wake her up, I just sat down by her side and observed the way the morning began. Nature. The fresh dew, light wind, dancing tree leaves and patches of sunlight on the water used to be alien to me yesterday. The concrete jungles of a huge city were the only forests I'd known before. And if someone had told me that I could just sit and enjoy things like that, despite the night cool and annoying mosquitoes, without computer or internet, I definitely wouldn't have believed them. Good morning. I looked at Slavia. Morning. Did you sleep well? Better than ever. Me too. She reached out and kissed me. The kiss seemed everlasting, and had just dissolved in her. Having breakfast would be great. Slavia finally spoke, letting go of me. Yeah, I guess so. Do you know what time it is now? No, but I think it's still early. I hope the canteen is already open. I'm so hungry. Me too. We got our things and walked out to the camp, holding hands. The canteen was indeed open, and strangely, we were its first visitors. It wasn't a surprise that breakfast wasn't all that luxurious. Oatmeal, 2 eggs, dry bread, and watery tea. You know, I never liked the local food. Me neither, to tell you the truth. Slavia laughed. But there is no choice. And it's quite good on an empty stomach. That is right. Unlike me, she was eating carefully. And I was dropping porridge on my shirt and spilling tea over myself, as usual. Do you always eat like this? Anything wrong with that? I asked with a anything wrong with that? She just laughed. Oh, no. Oh, wait. I was when I'm really hungry. Of course, I can be more... Munch. Of course, I can be more civilized. Well, I can try at least. No worries, it's nothing. Soon we finished breakfast and went to the exit. No sooner had I noticed that we were still the only people in the canteen than Olga appeared on the threshold. Oh, it's you. Well, I won't ask where you spent the night. So, is it... The camp leader was obviously embarrassed. Good morning to you too, Olga. Slavia said with a bright smile. Yes, morning. Okay, just don't forget to pack your things. We won't. What does she mean? Some hike again? Asked Slavia when we left the canteen. No, today's the last day. Have you forgotten? Last day of what? Last day of the term. To say that her words struck me dumb was an understatement. How? Why? It's a surprise, didn't you know? It was announced during the lineup. Even at those lineups which I attended, I was just sleeping on my feet. No. Now you know. Slavia smiled naturally. And what should I do? The words stirred as a mass of emotions inside of me. On one hand, I'll get out of this cursed camp at last. I might get some answers. On the other, I've just found something very important to me. And now I have to let it go. What do you mean? Oh, nothing. And when is the departure? In the evening, at 5 or 6 o'clock. Well, still a lot of time. Yes, but I have some things to do. And I should find Xenia. She might be worried since I was absent for the whole night. Oh well, worrying is so much like her. See you at lunch. Slavia gave me a kiss on the cheek and ran away. I kept standing at Katyn's entrance. I had absolutely nothing to do, nothing to pack, so the only thing to do was to wander around the camp till evening and think. I would give anything to be able to empty my head for this 10 hours. Her voice put me out of my trance.